Good morning. Welcome. As you arrive here today, go ahead and begin by finding a nice comfortable seat. And as you arrive on your mat, just beginning to turn your attention inward, maybe allowing your eyes to close. Begin just by scanning your body, just checking in with yourself. Where do you feel good? And then maybe scanning your body for any places that may need a little extra love. Observing any tightness or tension. Maybe taking a couple breaths into those spots. See if you can begin to find some release. Gently allowing your eyes to open. We're going to take a short breathwork practice, Nadi Shodhana. I want you to take your pointer finger and middle finger and just place them gently on your forehead. Placing your left hand in your lap, and then allowing the thumb to come to the right side and the ring finger to the left side of your nose. So thumb on right nostril, ring finger on left nostril. And just start by taking just one deep breath in through the nose. And out through the nose. And go ahead and use your thumb to plug the right nostril, inhaling through the left. Close both nostrils. Open the right and release. Pause. Inhale through the right. Close it with the thumb. Pause. And release through the left. Releasing the ring finger. Pause at the bottom. And inhale through the left. Closing both. Pause. Open the thumb on the right and release in the right. Pause. And then inhale through the right. Closing both. Pause. Releasing the ring finger and exhaling through the left. Continue this for a few more breaths. As you finish this round, go ahead and release your right hand back to your lap. Returning to normal breath. So today we're going to focus on twisting. And twisting is a great way to cleanse, clear, and detoxify the body. And the mantra today I chose by Dr. Seuss, and it's a type of cleansing by being able to speak your mind. And so this quote says, "Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." With your next inhale, drawing your arms up overhead, elongating the spine. Exhale, bending over to the right. And just gently pressing into that right arm, extending out through the left fingertips. Taking a few breaths into the side body here. And on your next inhale, coming up through center. And exhale over to the left. Pressing just gently into that left hand. Keep a little bit of space in that left side body as we stretch through the right. On your next inhale, coming up through center. Lengthening that spine one more time. On an exhale, beginning to bend forward into a fold. From this fold, you might begin to walk your fingers forward, deepening. Once you find it from a nice long spine, you can go ahead and begin to relax the head and neck, allowing the forehead to fall towards the floor. Then begin by walking your hands over towards the right knee. And once you get here, go ahead and just walk those left fingertips a little bit farther forward. And then walking your hands through center, over to the left. Once you get over here, go ahead and walk those right fingertips forward. Just a little bit more. And walking through center, beginning to press up. Go ahead and just switch the cross of your legs. And taking your left hand over your right knee, right hand behind the back, taking a nice gentle twist. Maybe you even gaze out over that right shoulder. And on your next exhale, gently releasing and taking that right arm across to the left knee, left hand behind your back to press into, giving your spine some length. And then maybe deepening into the twist, gazing out over your left shoulder. And gently releasing. Coming back to center, we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees. And once again, stacking those joints, Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Once you find a nice neutral spine, we're going to go ahead and just take our cat-cows. Go ahead and just do this at the pace of your own breath. Inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. Really work yourself here. See if you can begin to find more movement in the spine than you started with this morning. See if you can go just a little deeper with each rotation. Just a couple more breaths here. And as you're ready, coming back to neutral spine, you're going to inhale that right arm up and exhale, threading that right arm under the left. So the whole back of the shoulder comes to the mat, and then the side of your head comes to the mat. Then you might begin to walk those left fingertips forward over your head. You might continue to breathe here. If you want to go a little deeper, you might take that left foot back and begin to walk your left hand at a diagonal back over your head. Maybe you even roll further back into that right shoulder and gaze up towards the sky under that armpit. And beginning to walk those fingers back above the head, dropping the left knee back down if you opted for that option. And then bringing that left hand back in front of your face, pressing up, releasing that shoulder, but go ahead and draw it back all the way up. Taking a quick reverse, balancing out that twist, and bringing the right hand back to the mat. Inhaling the left arm up. Exhale, threading that left arm under, shoulder comes to the mat. And walking that right arm forward. And so right here might be good for you today. Or maybe you take that right foot back and begin walking that right hand at a diagonal towards the back of the room. Maybe gazing out towards the ceiling under that right armpit. Beginning to walk that right hand back, dropping that right knee back to the mat, and right hand comes next to the face, pressing up, releasing that left shoulder. Go ahead and release, taking that opposite turn, lifting that left arm up, and returning it to the mat. And we're going to go ahead and come into our first down dog of the day, tucking those toes under, pressing the hips up and back. Adho Mukha Savasana or down dog. Maybe you pedal your feet out. And then bending deeply in the knees with an inhale, gazing forward. On your exhale, walking or floating your feet to your hands. Releasing into your forward fold. On your next inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, placing the hands and stepping back into high plank. One inhale at the top of the high plank. And exhale, bending the knees or bending the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra. And exhale, shifting the hips back into down dog. We're going to take one more of these vinyasa flows just to continue to warm up the body. But on this one, if you'd like, you can hop back straight into chaturanga. Or you can continue with the step back into the high plank, taking a breath and lowering down. So inhale, bending the knees, gazing forward. Exhale, walking or popping the feet to the hands. Releasing into your forward fold. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, rising up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Option to exhale, jumping straight back into chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. I'm just taking a couple more breaths here. And go ahead and inhale that right leg up. And exhale, bending the knee, stepping it through. Runner's lunge. From here, you're just going to walk that left hand close to the right foot, placing it palm down. If you need a block, you can place a block there. So with that nice firm base, go ahead and bring that right hand to the right hip. Beginning to open the chest towards that right knee. Maybe you can raise that arm up to the sky. Revolved high lunge. Really press out through that back heel. Pressing firmly through that front foot, the right foot. And continuing to encourage that heart forward towards the front wall. Maybe you can gaze up at the ceiling for just one or two more breaths. And exhale, releasing that top hand to the mat. The right hand comes all the way down to the mat, if it's not already, and then step back, down dog. From here, go ahead and inhale that left foot up. Exhale, stepping it through. From your high lunge, placing that right hand on the mat, just on the inside of your left foot. Or if you need a little more height, a block. Go ahead and begin to roll that chest open towards the left leg. Maybe your left arm comes up. Maybe you begin to gaze up. And just finding your breath here. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. And with your next exhale, go ahead and release that left hand back to the mat. Remove the block if you had your right hand on the block. And go ahead and step back into down dog. We're going to come right into Anjaneyasana. So inhaling that right leg up. Exhale, stepping it through. Back to our lunge. And we're going to go ahead and drop that left knee right to the mat. Top of the foot comes to the mat. And beginning to just encourage those hips forward towards the mat. Go ahead and raise that chest up and see if your hips are squared off to the front of the mat. And from this nice square place. Maybe you raise the hands up. Maybe you even begin to take a back bend, gazing up, drawing those hands back, encouraging them towards the back of the room. Breathing. One more deep inhale here. And on your exhale, placing the hands, tucking those back toes under, shifting the hips up and back, releasing that right foot. Resetting, just a couple breaths here. Autumn into Savasana, down dog. Inhaling that left foot up. And on your exhale, stepping it through, low lunge. Dropping that back knee and foot to the mat. Squaring off the hips. Beginning to rise up in the chest and inhaling the arms up. Anjali-asana. Maybe you even begin to gaze up, deepening in the back bend here. And inhaling up. Exhale, placing the hands, tucking those back toes under. Shifting the hips up and back to release that foot. And go ahead and bring your big toes together, knees wide, and shift your hips back into child's pose. Just taking a few breaths here, feeling your forehead against the earth. On your next inhale, coming back up onto your hands and knees. Tucking those toes under, pressing the hips up and back into down dog. For this one, I want you to take a nice wide down dog. So go ahead and bring the outside edge of each foot to the very outside edge of your mat. And then you can do the same thing with the hands. Maybe you walk them back and shorten your dog just a little bit. Then you're going to go ahead and take your right hand and reach across to grab the left ankle. Gazing out under your left armpit. Continue to encourage those heels towards the ground, pressing down through all 5 fingertips and all 4 corners of that base hand. And gently releasing. Bringing that right hand back to the mat, lifting the left up, and reaching across to grab that right ankle or shin or thigh. Go ahead and gaze out under that armpit. And releasing that hand. Bringing them both back to the mat. Go ahead and walk your feet in towards one another so they're just about hip distance apart. Inhaling that right foot up. And exhale, stepping it through to your hands. Go ahead and swivel that back heel down onto the mat. And we'll windmill up just for a moment into Warrior 2. Then go ahead and straighten into that front leg. And we're going to work towards a revolved triangle. So maybe placing your hands on your hips and beginning to shift your hips towards parallel with the front of the mat. If they don't want to come around to parallel here, you may shimmy that right foot out towards the edge of the mat. So instead of being on a tight line, your feet can come apart. So once you find that spot where you can really get your hips around, parallel to the front of the mat, you're going to begin to lean forward. So drawing that chest forward, and then dropping the left hand to the mat, or maybe a block. Maybe this is a deep enough stretch for you today, or maybe you continue to rotate just from the chest, not the hips, open towards the right side, drawing that right arm up, revolved triangle. And exhale, releasing that hand back down to the mat, bending into that front knee, releasing the block. If you had a block, swooping that back heel up from the mat and stepping back. Down dog. We'll go right into the other side, inhaling that left leg up. Exhale, bending the knee, stepping it through. And we'll go ahead and windmill up first into warrior two. Allowing that back heel to come to the mat. And then from here, bringing the hands to the hips, again, beginning to twist those hips towards center. So coming off the tightrope if you need to. Some of our hips are more open than others. Once you find that nice parallel spot, straightening that front leg. Beginning to draw the chest forward so you can drop your right hand to a block for the mat. Maybe this is good for you today. Maybe you want to begin to continue to twist from the chest, opening that left arm up towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up. If that puts strain on your neck, you can gaze forward or down. And releasing that left hand back to the mat, bending into that left knee, placing both hands and stepping back, down dog. We're going to go ahead and take a few more moments in Balasana or Child's Pose. So bringing those big toes together, knees wide, chest and forehead drop towards the mat. On your next inhale, coming back forward onto your hands and knees. We're going to make our way back to seated. Just a couple more twists before we make our way to Shavasana. So I'm going to have you draw the right leg out long. And the left leg comes up, sole of the foot on the mat. If it's comfortable for you, you can go ahead and cross that left foot over the right. And maybe you just twist here. Right arm comes up, hooks over that left knee, left arm supports the back. If you want to go a little deeper, you might bring that left foot back towards the bottom. You still want both hips to be able to set on the mat though. So if one hip is drawing up, go ahead and straighten that leg back out. And go ahead and come into our twist. And this seated twist here is especially great for cleansing toxins out of the kidneys. And as we deepen into twists, with each inhale, see if you can lengthen that spine just a little bit more. And with each exhale, see if you can twist just a tiny bit deeper. Wringing out those internal organs. And gently release. Go ahead and uncross those legs. And taking the opposite cross. Maybe here, maybe you draw that left leg back alongside the hip. When you're ready, go ahead and just take one breath to elongate the spine before hooking and twisting. And gently releasing that twist. And crossing the feet. And beginning to make your way down into Shavasana. Drawing the legs out long. Arms come out away from the sides. And just allowing that spine to be supported by the earth. Beginning to bring your awareness back into your body. Maybe gently running your thumbs across your fingertips. And as you begin to awaken back into this room, maybe taking any last stretch that feels good for you. And as you're ready, bringing the soles of your feet to the mat. Beginning to roll onto one side into fetal position. Maybe just taking a breath or two in fetal before beginning to press yourself up back into seated. Meeting back where we began class. Just bringing this quote, this mantra back into the forefront of our minds. Be who you are and say what you feel. Because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss. Bring your hands to heart center. Pressing the base of the thumbs into your sternum. Thanking yourself for showing up today to practice. And we'll thank ourselves one last time by just rubbing our hands together, building a little bit of heat. And then go ahead and just grab your back right up under your shoulder blades. And gently rub down the spine and around the hips and out to the knees. Thank you for joining me for practice today. Namaste.